Nestled in the heart of the great savannah stood the village of Kamalo, where every home had a drum, for it was said that the gods spoke through the rhythm of the earth. And these drums were not just instruments, they were the voices of the people, beating out their hopes and dreams, their sorrows and fears. In this village lived a young girl named Zaya, whose heart beat louder than any drum. You see, Zaya was the chief drummer's daughter. No festival began until she struck the first beat, setting the pace for the celebration. Her rhythms stirred the soul. Her beats could make spirits rise. Without her, there would be no dance, no song, no joy. At least that's what everyone believed and what Zaya liked to remind them of. For pride filled her heart like smoke, hiding the truth, clouding her mind. Pride filled her heart like smoke, hiding the truth, clouding her mind. She boasted often, "Without me," she would say, flexing her skinny arms, "there would be no dance, no song, no joy." Oh, how her laughter echoed across the savannah, as bright and carefree as the yellow butterflies, dancing above the tall grasses. But little did she know that one day, those very butterflies would lead her to the truth. One night, as Zaya slept, the moon climbed high in the sky, and a cool breeze whispered through the tall grass, carrying with it the scent of distant rain. In her dreams, Zaya saw an ancient spirit, tall and slender, standing under the glow of the full moon. The spirit's eyes twinkled like stars, and her voice echoed with the wisdom of ages past. "Child of Kamalo," the spirit called out, and her voice resonated deep within Zaya's soul. "The rains are coming late. The river is shrinking. Only humility will call the clouds." Then the spirit vanished, leaving Zaya bathed in the silvery moonlight. Zaya woke with a start, her heart pounding like a drum solo. At first she thought it was just a dream, the spirit's words echoing in her ears. But as the days passed, the dream seemed more real, more urgent. The sun grew hotter day by day, the earth cracked and withered. The goats collapsed, their tongues hanging out, their eyes glazed with pain. The children cried for water, their tiny hands reaching out, their faces streaked with dirt and tears. Fear tightened its grip around Zaya's heart, squeezing the pride out of her chest. The elders gathered in the village square, their faces etched with worry, their voices filled with despair. The drums, normally the heartbeat of their gatherings, were silent. For the first time in living memory, not a single drumbeat echoed across the savannah. Then they turned to Zaya, their eyes filled with hope and a hint of desperation. They knew that if anyone could save them, it was her. So Zaya played. She beat her drum, summoning the spirits of the ancestors, calling on the gods of the sky. Her rhythms were a plea, a desperate attempt to coax the heavens to send rain. At first, only a few drops fell, not enough to quench the thirst of the parched land or still the cries of the suffering people. Then more drums joined hers, each beat echoing her own, their combined rhythms growing louder, more insistent. Still, the skies remained stubbornly empty, as though the heavens were deaf to their pleas. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Zaya stopped playing. Her heart heavy, her shoulders slumped, her face stained with dirt and tears. She knew that she had failed her people. With the first light of dawn, Zaya left the village, her bare feet hitting the hard ground, her eyes fixed on the horizon. She walked for hours, the weight of her failure pressing down on her, the cries of the villagers echoing in her ears. As she journeyed, 2 white butterflies fluttered around her, their wings a beacon guiding her way. They led her to the base of a sacred mountain, its peak shrouded in mist, its slopes covered in thorny bushes. With a deep breath, Zaya started to climb. Thorny branches tore at her legs, leaving red streaks down her calves. Rocks the size of boulders littered her path, testing her resolve. But Zaya pressed on, driven by a desperate hope and the unwavering guidance of the butterflies. When she finally reached the mountain's peak, the butterflies fluttered away, revealing the spirit of the moon standing bathed in the soft light of dawn. "You came," the spirit said, her voice echoing with ancient power. "I knew you would, child of Kamalo, for your heart beats with the rhythm of the earth, even if you forget it." Zaya looked down at her dusty feet, her torn clothes, her bare arms. "I don't deserve your help," she whispered, her voice hoarse with shame. "I have failed my people. I have failed myself." The spirit of the moon reached out, her touch as gentle as the morning breeze. "You have not failed, child. You have simply forgotten. Do you remember your dream?" Zaya nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "The rains are coming late. The river is shrinking. Only humility will call the clouds. Then it is time to remember, to embrace the lesson your heart seeks to teach you." The spirit gestured to the drum at Zaya's feet. "This is your gift, your connection to the earth. But you have forgotten its purpose. It is not yours alone. It is a vessel for the voices of all our ancestors, for the heartbeat of our people, for the song of the wind and the rain. It is a bridge between earth and sky, between us and the great mystery. But you have turned it into a thing of smoke and mirrors, using it to feed your pride instead of our people's souls." Zaya felt her face burning with shame. She had been so wrong, so blind. The spirit continued, "To heal the earth, you must first heal yourself. To call the rain, you must learn to listen to the silence. Throw down your drum, child of Kamalo, and let the earth hear your silence." Zaya trembled. Her drum was her pride, her identity, her connection to her father and her people. But looking at the cracked earth, the listless villagers, the dying goats, she knew the spirit was right. With a deep breath, she closed her eyes and cast the drum into the canyon below. As it hit the rocks, the drums shattered into 1,000 pieces. But in that moment, something shifted inside Zaya. A sense of calm replaced her anxiety. The sun felt warm on her skin, not scorching. The wind whispered secrets in her ear. And when she opened her eyes, the sky was filled with clouds. Thunder rumbled in the distance, growing louder, closer. Then the first fat raindrops fell, hitting the thirsty earth, swelling the river, filling the canyons, nourishing the land. The clouds gathered, forming shapes of dancing animals and twirling acrobats against the darkening sky. Lightning flashed, illuminating the smiling faces of the villagers as the first refreshing drops fell. The rain poured over the savannah, washing away the dust, the despair, the hopelessness. It was a celebration, a rebirth. And Zaya stood there, arms raised, laughing and crying, feeling the rain on her skin, listening to the song of the earth. As the sun peeked out from behind the clouds the next morning, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, the people of Kamalo emerged from their homes. Their faces were upturned, their eyes shining with gratitude and joy. They danced in the rain, their laughter echoing across the now rejuvenated landscape. The rain had returned, bringing with it the promise of new life, of hope rekindled. And as they celebrated, they looked up at the sky, searching for the source of their salvation. The camera panned up, revealing Zaya's drum, now nothing but splinters and rags, abandoned on the mountain peak. A lone butterfly fluttered around it, its wings brushing against the splintered wood, as if paying respects to the drum that had learned to be still. And so it was that day that Zaya laid down her pride, and the heavens answered. The fields bloomed, the river swelled, and the drums of Kamalo beat once more, not for her glory, but for the glory of the one who sent the rain. When the people found Zaya, she was sitting by the river, her hair tangled, her clothes torn, her skin glowing with a newfound radiance. They wanted to carry her on their shoulders, to make her a hero, but she shook her head, pointing up to the sky, to the mountains, to the clouds that were gathering once more, promising more rain. And in that moment they understood. They carried her not because she had brought back the rain, but because she had shown them the way. True greatness, they realized, is not found in ourselves, but in our willingness to give up our pride and choose humility. For only then can the heavens truly open.
In a quiet village, where the sky brushes the fields in hues of gold, young Mia discovered a map leading to forgotten treasures. Little did she know, her cat Whiskers had a secret. He was the guardian of the map, tasked with guiding Mia to not only the treasure, but also to her destiny.
From that day forward, Zaya's rhythms were no longer for herself, but for all who hungered for rain, for all who needed healing, for all who dared to dream of a better tomorrow. Her music became the voice of the voiceless, the heartbeat of the earth, the prayer of the people.